Okay, let's do some Ajax. What I want to do is change the style of the page. At the moment, this is a traditional HTML form. These are all fields in the form, inputs, tags in the form, and this submit button sends the whole form back to the server. What I want to do now is adopt an Ajax style. Sometimes it's like a single page, an SPA, single page application. And the idea is we don't constantly do commits. I'm going to put buttons on here, and each of those buttons will add one of these items to the cart. So I think the easiest way to do Ajax is to use jQuery. So I'm going to update my shop so that it does jQuery. Okay, I'm going to get my jQuery from a script and source equals, and that's the address of CDN. So I'm getting my jQuery from elsewhere. I should really be in a head. So let's have a head. And my own script that I'm going to run. The source of that is got to be static, and I'll call it shop.js. So that's my JavaScript that I'm going to write. And close the head. And if I've created a head, I really ought to create a body. And close the body here. This is no longer going to be a form. Okay, so that's not a form. Instead, what I want is buttons. Instead of this input, I'm going to put in a button for each item. Okay, so each item is going to have an add to cart button. Set. So it's a button add to cart. And I'm going to need something to identify that button. Supplier part ID looks like a good thing to use. So I have to put something in here to indicate that this is an add to cart. So I'm going to give it a class. The class is add to cart. And I'm also going to give it some data. And I'm trying to remember how to do this. I think I say data minus ID equals, and then I'll put in that supplier part ID. Just copy this in. Okay, so I've got buttons. Shouldn't be double quotes there. That should be class equals. Class equals add to cart, and data ID equals that. I'm not 100% sure I've got that right. Let's write that out and reload this. Okay, I've got my add to cart button. Let's just take a look at it, see if it's done what I think it should have done. So that button has got class add to cart, it's got data ID equals 1, and this one should have data ID equals 2. Yes, it does. Okay, all right, let's do some jQuery. I've got 2 errors there. What are the errors? Shop.js, so it's not finding shop.js. That's fair enough, I haven't put that in yet. So, vi static, and that's shop.js. Okay, so this is how we start our jQuery. We put in a function, and this is the ready function. It kicks off as soon as the page is loaded. And let's just see if things are working. Okay, so is the jQuery happening? Let's reload. By the way, you're seeing alerts. I use alerts a lot when I'm testing. I never have an alert in a production version, so you should try to avoid having alerts. Don't hand in anything that's got an alert in it. Alert is useful for testing and developing, but we don't have them in the final application. Okay, so that worked. Okay, what I want to do is every one of these buttons, I want it to do something with the data. So what I'm going to do is dollar, and I'm going to go for the class dot add to cart. So that should find all the buttons that I just put on, and I'm going to give them all a click event. So I put in a function, and this function will kick off whenever anyone clicks one of those add to cart buttons. And I'm fed up using alerts, so I'm going to use the console now. So I'm going to do console.log, and I'm hoping I'll be able to pick up this ID here. Okay, so this is the product unique line. So I'm going to console.log clicked, and the value I want to show is $this.data ID. Now, if my plan works, you can see that where I added that data minus ID, I should be able to pick that up in jQuery using this. That's the button you get clicked on, .data.id, and that should get picked up, and we should see it on the console here. So I'm going to write that out. Oops. Let me write that out. And I'm going to do a hard reload here. So this is a Control F5 reload to make sure it reloads the JavaScript again. You can't ever be certain. If you do normal load, you don't get the JavaScript in again. Let's see, static. Has it got the newest? It's got the latest version of the JavaScript I can see there. Let's see what happens when I click on this button. That clicked 1, that clicked 3, that clicked 5. This is really good. So that's the data that I want. Okay, to actually do an add to cart, I'm going to have to pass two values back to the server. I'm going to have to pass the item that the person clicked on, that's the product ID. I'm also going to have to get this cookie, not this cookie, this is the cart ID. I've got to get that back to the server as well. And I'm not sure if that exists in my form anywhere. Let's have a look at elements. Have I got that in my form? Not seeing it. Doesn't look like it's in there. That input submit shouldn't be there. I'll get rid of that. That was in templates, VI templates, shop. Where's the submit? Submit, that's going because this is now a single page application and there's no form. So I'll take out that open and close form. So the thing that I'm missing now is this value here. I've got to get this value into my page so that jQuery can load it. And one common trick, well, there are a number of ways of doing it. I could put it in a hidden div, or I could put it in a hidden variable. Let's, oh, here, cart first name. I wonder if the cart ID is in there as well. Let's have a look. I don't know what V is. I don't remember putting that in. Let's make up a div. And we'll give it an ID so we can pick it up in jQuery later. And we're going to call this is the cart ID. And I'll see if I've got a variable called cart ID. Cart.id. And close that div. Let's reload. That didn't show up. Yeah. Welcome to my shop, cart ID, and that's empty. So this ID isn't getting passed in. Can we fix that? Let's look at the server. And what does a cart look like? Where do we create a cart? A cart ID is that. Doc equals that. Cursor equals that. So when I load shop, so here's me launching a shop, and this is the value there, SCID. So SCID should go in, and my cart is a list with nothing in it. Okay, let's make that more complicated. Let's make a cart, a thing. Oh, SCID. SCID is being passed in. So I could pick it up as cart. but I haven't got this first name and cookie. All of that stuff's gone. Your cart contains. Okay. All right. So SCID is getting passed anyway. Let's fix that problem. Changing that to that. I passed in SCID. Let's use the SCID. I did that. I made that decision. Okay. So in shop, cart ID. It's not called a cart ID. It's called the SCID. Shopping cart ID. Shopping cart ID. Let's reload. Okay, so there's the shopping cart ID. So I've got that, and I can pick it up in jQuery because of the SCID. So when I click on this, it says I clicked that. Let's go back into jQuery. That's the one. Console.log. So what I want to happen is, what I'm going to be doing is make ajax call to add that item to, okay, the value I want is $, and it's in a div that's called shopping cart ID, and I want the text of that. Okay, too many close brackets. Let's see if that works. Write that out and reload. Now when I click, it says add one to that, and this says add one to the same thing. Okay, so these are the two values that I need to pass. What I'm going to do is make an ajax call from my web page back to the server with instructions to add item 4 to that particular shopping cart. So I'm going to pass those two values in. Instead of writing to the console, I'm going to make an ajax call to do that. And this thing here that's showing up, that's easily hidden. We can go into the HTML and just make that div hidden if we want to. But let's make our ajax call. Here's how we make an ajax call. So I can say $.ajax. Okay, I've got to give it a URL. So that's where it's going, and that's going back to the server. I'm going to make up a new route, so it'll be add item or add to cart. Yeah, let's make up add to cart, and it should start with a slash. So add to cart is the route, and I want to pass it data, and the data I'm going to pass is so I put in, sorry, this is data, and data is a complicated thing. It's got two components. It's got a shopping cart ID, which is this thing here, and it's got a product, which is this thing here. Okay, and if that worked, then I will get a success. All right, so what happens is we say success, and this function kicks off. And for the moment, we'll just put in a debug message. Console.log, your product was added. Okay, let's have a go at that. So reload, and I will have Pilgrim's Progress, please. It says make call. Can you see this is the call being made? It's making it as a GET request. If we look at network, we can see that call got made. It's a call to add to cart, and it's got the parameters that we want. The parameters, it's got the SCID going in, it's got the product going in, so the call got made. Of course, it returned a 404 because we haven't got a route to deal with add to cart. Well, let's fix that. So we'll go to the server. Okay, and make up a new route. My routes are all over the place. I've got routes here and there. I'm going to put them in alphabetical order. I can't change the name of cat. That was fixed. But I'm going to try and do alphabetical order. So that's C. What else have I got? That's C as well. Cat comes before checkout, so that's okay. And shop comes after. They're already in alphabetical order. So to maintain alphabetical order, I'm going to put my new route, add to cart, is going to go here. So app.route, and it is add to cart / add to cart. Okay, I'm going to pass the parameters on the get line, I think. So def add to cart. Okay, so I'm going to copy the style I had before. So it's SCID. SCID is it a request dot get, something like that? I've forgotten how to do this. Okay, I think it's request.args.get, and it was SCID. That's the shopping cart ID. I've also got the product. So product equals same thing, request.args.get, and that should be product. So that was the instruction to add one thing. Okay, so someone's requested to add to a shopping cart. Let's make that happen. I need a database connection. I'm going to try and use the connection that I had at the very beginning, but create a new cursor. Cursor equals con.cursor. I'm not sure if I should be creating new cursors each time, or even a new connection each time. Okay, I should maybe look to see what's best practice. Okay, so what I want to do is to insert a cart line. So it's going to be something like cursor.execute. So on the SQL, it's going to do insert into cart line. And cart line should have what parameters? Okay, so a cart line has got a product, a cart, and a quantity. Okay, so product and cart and quantity, and I want to put in values question mark 1. Okay, so I'm going to add 1 in, and so the parameters I'm injecting into the SQL are product and SCID. That's got to work. Okay, and we've got to return something. So let's return, how do I JSON encode? Can't remember. Let's just do that. So we'll return that. Okay, now go into my database. So that's SQLite, and I moved my database to db/shop. SQLite 3. Phew. Okay, select star from cart line, semicolon. Good. Okay, there's no cart lines. Let's try and make one up. So we'll reload. I'm doing a hard reload, and I get internal server error. That's because I've done something foolish here. Yeah, there should be brackets at the end of this thing. Try again. Hard reload. Still got an internal error. Let's Python run it, because that sort of thing. Oh, it looked okay. Hard reload. Nothing happening. Internal server error with no clue. What could be going wrong? Have we got debugging on? Go to the bottom. That's my debugging code working okay. Let's try the touch. Control R, touch. It's not finding it. I have to find the address. Control U. So I don't want to touch server. I want to touch /uw emperor vassals 4000 036. Let's try again. Okay. All right, now when I click on add to cart, it should kick off a network message. So we should see something cropping up in the, so something should come along here when I click add to cart. So Robinson Crusoe, add to cart, it went through, my product was added. So the call was made. I got back the empty response, and there should be a new line in cart line. Oh, that didn't work, that could have gone better. You know what, I think you have to have a commit. I'm going to find out how to do a commit. So here's what I'm searching. So Python SQLite 3 commit. Okay. Okay, so we make a connection, we create that, we insert something, and then we do a commit on the connection. I think that's what I was missing. Let's edit the server. So where was my insert? So that was the insert, and now not on the cursor, but on the connection, con.commit. Try that. So what I'm hoping is that this time, when I click on a button, I don't have to reload, I don't think. Let's try another one. Let's try and add Tom Jones. It was added, and let's see if it's added to cart line. Oh, excellent. You see that? Product 5 was added to that. Let's have Pilgrim's Progress. And now I should have 2 lines in there. Excellent. So I've got product 1 and product 5. Let's have Gulliver's Travels while we're at it. And that's 3. You'll notice what I'm avoiding is putting 2 of Pilgrim's Progress. This is going to cause a problem. So I do Pilgrim's Progress, and this time I get an internal error. Okay, now I'm getting the internal error because I'm trying to add something to the cart line. Can I preview it? Yep, so here's my internal error. And the internal error is happening because this insert, you're not allowed to do that twice for the same product SCID pair. So if I want 2 copies of Pilgrim's Progress, I should be updating that number from 1 to 2. So we're going to need to do something a bit cleverer at the server to cope with people wanting 2 copies of the same product. And I think maybe we'll do that in the next video. Let's just make a note here to do. It is impossible to have a second item of the same product at the moment. Okay, so that's a problem. That's a problem we can fix. Okay, so let's commit. So don't think I've added any. Oh, I probably have added some. So let's do git add static. Okay, because there were a couple, I think there was the jQuery files in there. And then git commit -m, and we have started with ajax -a, and git push, and we're happy as anything. What did that? I don't think that was a serious error. Good.